Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Oops. I accidentally hit this way too early. Oh my god. Whoopsie. What? Wait. Son of a bitch. How's everybody doing? We'll wait a little bit for the show to start. Yeah. How's everybody doing? Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, I accidentally hit the button, I think. I don't know. Show's starting early. I'm sorry. How the hell's everybody doing? Getting the camera up here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, Chris may be joining us. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Dots? How's it going, man? Oh, dear Lord. So, Dakota accidentally hit a button, and so this is the show starting a little early. How's it going, Dots? Oh, man. Oh, sorry. I am totally unprepared. I was not ready for this to happen. So, some of you probably have been asking if there was any fallback after the show last night. Yeah, there was. We already had some people complaining that we called them out on what happened, but it is what it is. You know, sometimes we have to change up things. You know, things just don't work out. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. I accidentally hit a button. Accidentally hit a button. We're live.
What do you mean we're live?
We're live right now. I accidentally hit a button.
When did you hit that live?
Like 3 minutes ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mad world of Bald and Bonkers. We'll just get a couple of minutes, guys. It's a good job I come on early then, isn't it? I was going to be showing you my wands there. I was going to be showing you my wands.
Hey, you do not need to be busting out those things on camera.
Hey, I'll tell you something new.
Save that for your OnlyFans.
All the Wiccan ladies love the wands. No, ladies and gentlemen, I make wands.
They're awfully.
It's a hobby. Well, you might see, honestly, I make wands, right? I kind of are going to think, right, this is the maddest thing, right? But the Wiccan ladies, they love these kind of things. Women, they love these kind of things, right? I've been working on this one. Now, this has taken me a week to produce. Oak, right? All carved, and then I put copper wire in it. See it there? And then I've just finished putting the crystals on it. All different types of crystals. I've made about 10 of them up already, all different ones. See? I'm actually working on this one. This one's, see, it's all sanded down, see? But it's still to be carved and stuff. Try to produce, you know? Cool. I'm actually going to be giving one away on my Ghost Squad Scotland on Halloween night to a lucky subscriber.
Well, it's a good thing I'm working that night, so
you know, coming on. Yeah, I'm just going to tell Jenny we're on. Yes, Jenny, we are on. Dakota pressed the wrong button.
I was trying to get the live set up on the TikTok side, man. Leave me alone.
It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mad world of Dakota's crazy things. Oh,
this is what happens when you leave Dakota alone. You will
Honestly, I'm not
eventually
ready for
try
this.
to
I'm not
rush
ready for
things
this, man.
and fuck shit up.
I'm pressing buttons here. I was meant to share the show out. I didn't get a chance to share the show out. This is
You can
honestly.
still share the show.
Hey, shit, I tell you that to you. Hey.
Oh, fuck me. But at least buy me dinner first.
Of course, we're streaming. Where are we streaming through tonight? We're streaming through Go Squad Scotland Network. Remember, subscribe. We're subscribing to a lot of multiple locations, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even our TikTok. Even though I'm told we're having an echo issue on TikTok side. Chris? Yo. Hey, did I lose you? Chris, are you alive? Hello? What the fuck?
What the hell happened there?
I don't know. You just froze.
No, you froze for me.
You froze for me?
No, you froze for me.
Oh, you froze for me?
You froze for me.
Okay, who froze, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat?
Who froze first? It was me. I was watching it on YouTube.
No, I was watching you on here. You froze.
No, you froze for me.
No, you froze for me.
He froze. John Morris, he froze. But who does that? He means me or he means
Okay,
Dakota?
come on, John. Dumb or dumber?
Handsome or ugly?
Bald or bonkers?
Honestly, I just
God.
don't know. So, anyway, tonight, ladies, we usually have a rustle before the show. We usually, Chris. Oh,
See,
it would be me.
You froze.
Me.
You.
It's the, oh my God, it's the aliens. Hear the airplane going out. Can you hear that?
No.
Can you hear that right now?
See, your girlfriend agrees with me.
Yes, Jenny, I froze. Well, I don't know. Maybe I was trying to share out the live at the time. This idiot here went live. We're not meant to go live for another 10 minutes. You can't like to have a good
It's been
yap.
a chaotic week. Leave me alone. It's not even a full moon.
Yeah, for a good 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
Terrible putting me off the show. It's like a job. Come on. What would you have done if I hadn't come on? You'd have done the show without me.
Yeah, I would have done the shun without
The
you.
shun?
The shun? Yeah.
The shun? The shun?
The shun?
The shun? The shun? The shun? Honestly, guys, I think I went fucking mad.
Yeah, honestly. I have that effect on people.
See? Yeah, but you don't have one of these. You don't have one of these cups, like.
No, most of my exes would use those to throw it at my head.
I can see why.
I can usually if it's short enough. That's all.
That's my drinking.
With the girls I've dated, they were so short. They had to get a chair.
Girls? What? You dated girls? My God.
Hey, most people are surprised you're straight.
What do you mean by that?
Do you know the number of people that told me they thought you were gay?
Just because I don't share my, you know, it's honestly, Jenny, terrible. Honestly, he's terrible. Hey, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you, Jenny, well done, by the way. And I would like to say that shadow. What's your opinion on the shadow?
Okay, I will say this. In the interest of trying to state all the odds, there was a fly going about.
It must have been some fucking size of fly.
It would have been like this close to the fucking lens. There was a fly in my room. Maybe that was it, but that moved kind of slow.
You ever seen the old Alfred Hitchcock film? What's the one where the guy doesn't? No. What's the one? It's the black and white one, and the guy gets turned into a fly. And the guy's out in his beard, and it's in black, and it's black. It's the fly, and it's the black and white one. And he's out watering his roses, and it's stuck in a leg. And he goes, "Help me!" Anyway, I didn't even get a chance to open my Uncle Joe's mint balls. Where have I put my Uncle Joe's mint balls?
Oh, go ahead and just go suck on your balls.
I'll take. You're just jealous. You're jealous because I was at the Moffat Toffee Shop. The Moffat Toffee Shop. You're jealous that I've
that
got
place looked
Uncle
good.
Joe's
That place did
mint
look good.
balls. You know, I was telling Jenny I was sucking on my uncle's balls the other night.
Yeah, and you're trying to say you're not gay.
What's that? Drew Mole. What about the guy who escaped from Woodsworth? Oh, aye. There's a terrorist dude escaped in Britain out the big jail. And they're trying to catch
Oh
him.
yeah, I
They
heard
can't get
about
him.
that.
Aye, Kenny, there was a baker's truck or it was a garbage truck. I don't know what it was, but it was a vehicle of some description. And he clung underneath it and it drove out. But they've usually got cameras to check things like that.
That's what they usually
No.
hide in those because those are a blind spot.
Yeah.
Aye.
But,
I know my sister has one of those cards. I'm very concerned.
so I hope the police, if you're watching the police officer out there, I hope you catch the criminal at hand. I hope you catch him soon. MD that sees him, remember, don't approach him. Please phone the police first.
Yes. Don't be hero.
Yes, don't. There's actually a £20,000 reward for him.
Maybe you should get off your ass and go get him.
Nah, too busy making ones. Honestly, doing in England and Scotland is quite a distance. But honestly, if you see him and you think you see him, do not approach him. Phone the police.
Exactly.
Right. Don't be greedy and think, oh, I'm going to get 20 grand. Approach him, then he strangles you. Right. Just phone the police and they'll deal with it. What's that, June? Emerald Isles. Oh, Lord, he almost choked on his balls earlier. I was eating a sweet and Jenny told me a joke. And I nearly choked on them. I was
yeah. Oh, he's been caught. Good. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
You want some SMR?
And Jenny, him choking on his balls. I really doubt that he's that flexible.
It would surprise you things I can bend to, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of get them out the wrappers. But anyway, space news, world events. What's your thoughts on the green comet that's just been sighted by a Japanese astronomer and it's coming into our solar system?
Nishimura.
The Nishimura.
It's actually pretty. It was actually pretty beautiful to see.
Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen it.
I have that Star Walk app on my phone that helps me track things. I use it to help with UFOs, but helps me track comets. That's how I first heard about it.
I'll need to try that. I'll need to try it. I will need to try that. But I was going to say something to you. The other night, I had a close encounter of the third kind. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. See that message I sent you? I thought I'll take the dog for a little trot. And it was about 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. Beautiful clear skies. And I was just standing outside out in the back garden. And you could see the Milky Way and all that. And I could see it coming out. And you know how you can follow like satellites?
Mm-hmm.
I seen a few of them. Right. And then I seen this thing coming out. And it was the same altitude as the satellite. There wasn't any flashing. It was just constant white. Right. And I'm like, oh, that must be the International Space Station or something. I didn't have my phone on me. And I thought, oh, that must be the International Space Station. I watched it. And it just stopped. It just stopped dead. And I'm like, see, for like 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, it just sat there. And I was just like, oh, looking at this thing. And it wasn't flashing. It was white. And then it started to move again. And then it just veered off and disappeared. And it makes me wonder, what did I see? I mean, it must have been some size to be that.
Yeah, that's about like the one I was talking about the other week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that lasted for about 45 minutes.
Aye, I was like, what in all that's holy? And it's always when you're not got your phone in your pocket.
No, I actually had my phone and I was filming the damn thing.
You wouldn't have focused in that. You wouldn't have focused in that anyway. You couldn't have focused in that. Have you heard what happened in the UK the other day? Interesting subject. This. It happened to me. It happened to the people in my village, and it happened to everybody in the UK. I woke up the other morning and my car was covered in what they're saying is the Sahara Sands. Right? Have you heard about this?
No.
Right? It
Please
happens
tell.
now and again. My car's black and it was covered. It looked like there'd been a volcanic eruption, right? That's how bad this was, right? So anyway, everybody in TikTok and that's doing the thing. So if you get a credit card and you scrape a wee bit, which is a bad idea, guys, because what's in it is dodgy. See if you scrape it into like a wee pile and get a magnet and hold the magnet out, it all sticks to the magnet.
Mhm.
It should not do that. It shouldn't do that. Yes, there's some
It does
iron
do
in the
that.
Sahara Desert, right? There's some iron in the Sahara Desert, right? So anyway, I've been watching stuff about this, and there was a top scientist guy that doesn't really get on with the mainstream, right?
Mhm.
And I'm amazed that we'll be asked to stay in there for this. He's got one of these special computers where you can actually analyze particles.
Yeah.
And he taken a sample of the Sahara because he's been there before. He knows what's in the Sahara, and he put the program in, and he taken a sample for outside on his car and put it in, and oh my god, it was full of aluminum. It was full of graphite. It was full of iron oxide, and it had like 10 million times more graphite and stuff that you would see in the Sahara Desert. And you've got to remember, they're saying that this has come up off the desert, then it's flew across the air, across the sea, and then it's dumped down, right?
Yeah.
He was saying he obviously did it so he wouldn't get into trouble, but he's saying that there's something dodgy going on here. It's as if they're spraying it in the sky to change the weather or something down the same roads.
You also have to consider it could very yes that the Sahara hands blowing up towards the UK. That's typical. But the way that spraying works, it could easily transfer
What's that saying?
and get cross contaminated.
I'm just waiting to see what Dots was saying there because people are saying something in the chat.
Yeah. They're talking about ears ringing.
Aye, there's something going on. My car,
There is.
like I've just put new window wipers in my car. It's going for its MOT this week, and I rinsed my windscreen because it was just covered, and it went like that. And I'm like, when the name of all is holy, and you could actually see it eating into the rubber. I've rinsed the car off, and a few people I know have rinsed their car. Whatever you do, don't use a sponge straight on it, guys, because it'll scratch the paint. There's too much carbon in it. I honestly think that they're obviously spraying. They're obviously trying to change the climate for this bullshit climate stuff.
I know.
They're up to something.
Speaking of which, we gotta talk about this too. The claims of strange lights in the sky. The Morocco earthquake.
I've not had a chance to look at that yet, and I'm going to be truthful. I've not had a chance to look at that yet. Or the video that's coming out it, but the ones in TikTok I have heard because you tell me. I don't know what really to believe.
Yeah, I know.
But
there's this video I've been seeing.
There's quite a few deaths. There's quite a few deaths.
A few thousand.
Yeah.
And I was checking on a friend of mine because her family's actually from Morocco. And some of her relatives are among those they're still trying to account for.
Yeah. There's something going on.
Now, it is not unheard of for strange lights in the sky to happen before a major earthquake. One of the major theories is that some sort of like friction that comes from the tectonic plate activity itself that causes these lights. But there's a video going around, especially on TikTok.
But back in 10
the first red flag for it is the Hollywood sound effects, like our good friend Dots says. If the chances are, if you had those sound effects in the video, it ain't legit. The second part that I find suspicious is that either this person is completely stupid about how to deal with videos involving this type of thing, but they use text to cover half the damn video. But from what you can see, what looks like kind of maybe a triangle or star-shaped craft in the sky, spinning around. and just sending down this huge beam of light into the ground.
Right. Ask yourself, right, I'm going to say this, right? Obviously, we know that the black government, whoever runs this world and all that, have got their own UFOs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But we also know that there's good extraterrestrials out there trying to help us, right? With the Galactic Federation and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
What would be the point of causing a massive earthquake in Morocco? What's nearby? Is there anything nearby that I don't know? This is why I'm suggesting this. What would be the point of doing this?
There are several ancient sites that way, especially near Marrakesh.
Right. So maybe it wasn't meant for the people above ground, but it was maybe meant for the people below ground.
They do consider it a shallow earthquake, relatively close to the surface. I think 6.8 it was.
See, it's interesting.
Now, obviously, this is fresh information. There's going to be more developments to the story if there's something involved.
Have you seen the videos? And this is tied up to the same thing. Have you seen the videos coming out of Ukraine lately?
Yeah, more UFOs in the sky.
Ridiculous amounts during the day. They're actually sitting watching the battle unfold. They're actually sitting watching the battle unfold. And this is the interesting thing, guys. I think I know why they're there. I think they're there to make sure they don't use anything they shouldn't. Nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that's also one of the theories out there for ETs is that they're just interdimensional, time tourists.
I mean, what I kind of get is Morocco, right? I want to jump back to this for a second. Why would you use so sophisticated weapons in Morocco? I mean, that it's like going to war with America and attacking the North Pole.
Yeah.
So it's like,
if this was an attack, what's the end game?
I think there's something. I think there's
it's
more.
It's a highly populated area, and they're not very well equipped to handle the earthquakes. That's why there's so much devastation there right now.
Yeah, as Dot says, Earth portals are important to this world. But here's the thing, right? What happens if there's an underground civilization? And maybe this is the earthquake in Morocco is just like a side effect for what's really the devastation below.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
who knows? Who knows? There's so much to this, we just don't know.
I don't think the aliens will step in just before we go nuclear. I don't think they'll let us use nuclear weapons. I don't think they'll use nuclear weapons. But see if we go in a full-on war scenario where we're shooting each other, they'll just sit back and watch. Because I can't like they'll just sit back and watch. But if we start using chemical or biological or nuclear, they'll be like, oh, nope. And they'll probably stop it. Maybe more nuclear, but I wouldn't say.
Mm-hmm.
No. There is some fake evidence out there in Ukraine now with the UFOs, but there's some evidence out there now where it's like, holy shit.
Holy shit. The people fighting this war want that fake shit to spread.
The thing is, Ukraine's only got 2 weeks left before it collapses. This is what's coming out. This is what's coming out now. It's only got 2 weeks left before the weather starts to change and it starts to collapse. I mean, they're running out of people. They're running out. Did you see what the Ukrainians have went and done? See how when the war just broke out, all the young people escaped Ukraine. They've sent them all letters saying that if you don't return, we're going to have you hunted down and put in jail because they need more for the meat grinder. It's absolutely shocking. And it's shocking that our governments are letting this away with. I ken nobody really likes the guy Trump and all that, but I don't think this would have happened if he had been in power, to be purely honest with you. I don't think this would have happened.
Trump would have been the only one to stop Putin.
Yeah, because Trump and Putin were pals. They knew that the world was.
Fuck it. Trump got North and South Korea to start talking peace talks.
Yeah, and knew it's all got spiraling out of control.
Exactly.
What's this in the chat? Just think it was only a few years from World War II the Roswell happened. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think they've been watching. Like, I think there's been extraterrestrials living on this earth before we were kicking about. Right? I think they've lived underground and they've always been about. And then when we started to get more powerful, the humans started to get more powerful, thought, fuck, let's go underground. Right? And that's what they did. And I think a lot of the UFOs we do see are them that live here. And they're no extraterrestrials, they're no aliens, they are for Earth. They're the same as us. It's just we don't converse with them, we don't really talk to them that much. Maybe we do. Yeah, but obviously the governments are no tell us. But it's what's that? If Roswell didn't happen beforehand, but Drew, you've got to remember there was UFO crashes and UFO events before Roswell, going all the way back into the 18th century in the Old West. There was, what was the one where it crashed and it went down a well? What was that? Oh, Dots. What was the UFO that crashed in America? And the remnants was meant to have been put in a well, and the body of the extraterrestrial was buried in the local graveyard.
That was Roswell.
No, wasn't it? I'm talking about the one before that. No, it hit a windmill.
Wait.
Crashed.
It was in Texas.
It was in Texas, and this was in the 18th century. Yeah. I can't remember when that was. That's annoyed me, that has.
Yeah.
Was that Tony Rodriguez? I missed that last night. Did you watch that live last night?
I've been busy.
I meant to watch that last night. I'll watch it back tonight. I'll need to
not
watch
always
that back
sitting around on the computer all day watching videos.
I've been doing stuff all day today. I've not even looked at TikTok today, except for some mad videos that folks send me.
Aurora,
right. Texas. Thank you, Dots. Dots, you make you've earned yourself a cup of tea.
He probably had one brewing before we even came on.
Nah, he's probably got a flask, you know. But it's look. There's been UFOs have been visiting this earth. Look, there's ancient Egyptians and all that, and there's pictures. Look, we just need to look. Who's that famous painter, the Mona Lisa?
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci painted UFOs in some of his paintings. Yeah. So obviously there was sightings then. So I will say this, the US government have made their own, right? And we are more advanced than what we say we are, right? It's like Nikola Tesla and how they take all his stuff after he died. It's slowly coming out, but it's got to take a while before it completely comes out. I think to be honest with you, you'll probably see it, Dakota, but I will not. I don't think I'll see it.
No, for how fast it's moving, man. For how fast it's moving, man, we're going to be seeing a lot in the next few years alone.
What's the latest?
Think about it.
Is there no something that's meant to be happening in the new? There's been a lot of other stuff released. What's the other stuff that's been released in the UFO field? I seen something about it. Is there no more Senate hearings coming up?
Yeah, Congress is going to be back in session here very soon.
Yeah. So what's going to come out then? We need an alien spaceship to land outside the place and for them to walk in. That's what we need. For everybody just to wake up, you know?
No,
what's this in the chat?
Just like what we were talking about yesterday, man, for how quickly people turn on each other when it comes to this type of subject. That goes to happen. That's instigating a war. That's playing right into the enemy hands.
I mean, obviously, I look at the UFO community and know that the extraterrestrials that are visiting us are extremely friendly, and they could have easily wiped us out a long time ago.
And they thought about it.
Honestly, all they would need to do is nudge an asteroid into the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
All they would need to do. That's what they need. Can I
It's
talk about
happened
this,
before.
right? See how the dinosaurs were roaming this earth for millions and millions of years, right? What happens if
Mhm.
that was done deliberately?
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at Mars. Mars at one time used to look like what? The Earth, right?
Yeah.
What happens if there was people on the Mars, right? And they were like, fuck, this planet's dying, right? We need to get off of here, right? We need to get off of here. We've not got long left, but look at that. There's that, but there's loads of like crazy creatures that would eat you. I will fire an asteroid into it.
Mhm.
And then after, like, say, 20 years, we'll go there and we'll land and we'll start populating it.
Mhm. It wouldn't take much for them in order to create a cataclysm to essentially terraform the planet. And Mars, even mainstream, sits back and says, what?
Emerald Isles, pardon, Jenny was in a different chat all by her own. Sometimes it doesn't pop up for me. I don't know why that is, by the way. It really annoys me.
We also go to more than one YouTube channel.
It's his fault, Jenny.
It's my fault for actually making this shit work.
I know. Can you imagine it with me? The call webs and electrical faults and at least they didn't start the show 15 minutes early.
Hey! At least I'm in here doing it. You're the one that's been popping in late and hard and not even talking.
So, question. What about and we were asked this last night, but we had to end the show, the Chinese space station.
We're bouncing around so much different subjects. Motherfucker. That's a very good question. What the hell was up with the Chinese space station?
I mean, they're what? They're firing. They say they're taking up the second module now and putting it together. Can't I mean?
Yeah. China's not exactly glad that the U.S. is being given priority over space relations relating to the rest of the Earth. China doesn't exactly like that deal.
Do you know if, I mean, it is quite strange that America and Britain and that only go into space when they're after something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And China's obviously, they're going back to the moon. They want to build like a moon base and all that kind of stuff. Jesus, and all that's holy. They say we can't go back to the moon, but India managed to land a rover on the moon.
Yeah.
Come on. There's something seriously wrong there. I know it's no real people and stuff like that, but come on, I mean, could Britain give India aid? I mean, seriously, they give them billions and billions every year in aid. They've got their own space program and their own nuclear weapons. I mean, that's taking the piss, or is it no?
Mm-hmm.
And America has got all this money and all this stuff, but they can't go back to the moon. I think they signed a deal with somebody.
It's not profitable enough.
Well, but look at the stuff that's on the moon. You could mine the moon. You could mine it.
Who says the mining operations aren't already there?
That's very true. Who says that mining operations are only started already? But think of it. Look, there's an asteroid out there, right? That's worth, what is it? $25 quadrillion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think it would be a race for space because we're running out of resources. So why don't we go and grab these rocks, tow them back to Earth,
it's only
strip
ego
them
boost
down?
when it comes to the politicians.
But if everybody just put their bloody heart into it, we could do so much more. And this is what's wrong with this world, honestly. Yeah. Everybody's too concerned about being on TikTok and kidding on their characters out of video games.
Yeah,
have you seen that? Have you seen that? Corn.
I've seen it. I was the one that told you about that.
Corn. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
I was the one that told you about that, man.
Was it? But you? No, was you there? I don't know. I can't remember that.
Well,
anyway, honestly, I'm getting.
I need a new co-host.
Jenny, seek, get him, Jenny. I'm gonna send Jenny when you.
Yeah, your ankle biter girlfriend.
She'll get you. Tell you, she will. She'll get you.
Yeah.
You know, but honestly, I just think we need to go out there. Okay? I mean, we could be doing so much more. They say the Earth's running out of resources, right? So why don't we do this stuff? LOL,
Well-
ankle biter.
Now, let's stop and think for a sec here. Let's go into kind of the environmental crisis, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, oh, we have this pollution, all this carbon in the air that's causing climate change and all that. Yet they're getting wind of nature's answers to it. Trees.
Yeah.
There's certain kind of trees that have like almost 50,000 carbon inputs they can take in.
Yes, it's like that. They're doing that in Canada. They're saying that they're putting
Canada,
the emissions tax up and
Australia,
all
some
that, and
places
cutting
here
the
in the
trees down.
US.
They're stupid. They're stupid.
Yeah. All these carbon emissions, but yet they're cutting down all the trees.
I learned an interesting fact the other day there, and this is going to blow some of your minds. Wind turbines, would you say they're economical?
Not really.
Now, I'm going to shock you. See, I had a conversation. Like, obviously, I live near the windmills and stuff, and I had a conversation with an engineer that works in them. That's what he does. He builds them, right? And he was telling me that this is just stupid, right? That windmills draw for the grid. Did you know that? They've actually got because I says to them, they've got a big massive diesel generator sitting, and I'm like, what's with the diesel generator? I thought the windmills turn the blades, and he says no. He says when there's no wind, we have to put power into them to keep the power coming out. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And he says in the winter time they don't really produce power, so we put power into them to keep them spinning so they don't seize up. And I'm like, so you're telling me in the winter time, all these windmills that are turning are no producing any electricity? Oh, once they get to a certain temperature, they do produce electricity, but as soon as it cools down and as soon as the wind stops, they have to start turning them again. So what they do is they reverse the polarity, so it's not producing, and it's just like an electric motor that starts turning it. So you're actually
you got to keep those things from getting freezing over. Otherwise, if those things break, ugh.
I've seen them on YouTube where the brakes inside fail and they get faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and they'll no stop, and then they'll just explode. The blades will just explode.
Yeah, have you seen the one with the horses that are hightailing it away from?
I've seen that one.
Yeah, we have a wind farm not too far from me, and we've had a couple bursts like that, and you could hear it miles.
There was one day I was sitting there. You came where I live, kind of rural, and I was sitting there in my car, and I seen this big petrol tanker, and it drove past me, and it said Shell on the side, it diesel, right, and it just appeared, and like 2 hours later, it came back again. And I says to the guy, I says, what's that doing? And he says, oh, it's a way to fuel the generators to keep the windmills turning. I mean, seriously, this is the madness. Windmills don't work. They're shit. What's that, Dots?
I mean, maybe in warmer climates where it doesn't get below 60 degrees.
Yes.
Like
in
Las
warmer
Vegas.
climates, they'll work better. Yeah. But in colder climates, they shouldn't be up because they're shut.
Because where you're at in Scotland is not too different from where I'm at.
Yeah.
When it comes to the weather.
Yeah. It's madness, and it's this climate change, and I'm just going to say it right now. See, this climate change is a load of bullshit. They say, "Oh, the seas are rising. The seas are rising. They're going to flood everything." Do you know there's pictures for 1825? No, 18 like 70s, right? Beaches, right, and the water, the new is actually lower than what it was. So what's the deal there? I mean, is there something I'm missing here? There's top scientists said, and they've actually lost their jobs through this, that the climate change is bullshit. It is bullshit. But obviously pollution is happening with plastics and stuff like that, and that needs to stop. And we do need to stop using certain fossil fuels in that. But it's getting ridiculous. There's mere harm to the environment with electric cars. Do you know in China, they've got fields and fields and fields full of like over 1 million cars, electric cars, because they're paid. They're paid. The global people pay them to use these electric cars. But they just buy them, make them, put them in a field, keep the money for themselves, and they use them.
Yeah. China's pollution. Oh, yeah. They need something over there bad.
There's a new person in the chat there, 61011 9. What does that stand for?
No fucking clue.
Hello,
Hello, new random person. Hi.
But it's honestly, I honestly just don't know what's happening. The world's messed up.
Like someone said in the chat earlier, there's so much information coming out from all sides of things. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah. You've got to remember you watch the mainstream media, and you've got to remember the mainstream media is fake. It's fake.
90% of mainstream media is owned by BlackRock or Vanguard.
Much love from Hong Kong. There's somewhere I've always wanted to go to Hong Kong. The beautiful
I've been through Hong Kong before. It is beautiful.
What was the ship that used to lie off the shore of Hong Kong? It was a cruise ship. It sunk. What was it? 6, 10, 11, 9. It sunk. It was a cruise ship. It was on its side, but I think they scrapped it and they stripped it down. It was in James Bond, remember? They used that was kind of like a bunker kind of thing. Oh, what was the name of that ship? That's annoying me now. It'll come in my head. Hong Kong's a beautiful city.
Yeah, when the pollution's not overtaking it. They actually, in Hong Kong, they actually have they have these like canvases of the city skyline where there's no pollution in order to allow tourists to have somewhat decent looking photos because the smog gets there so bad.
Yeah.
But something else weird that caught my attention. Did you hear about this?
What?
They have managed to create a living human embryo without a sperm or egg cell.
So how does that work then?
That's a very good fucking question.
So what's the person got to turn out like?
They usually don't let them grow full term. That's the thing.
Aye, but here's the thing, right? There's been reported wee flashes of light, right, at the conception of birth, right? So you could go down this kind of road, that's where the soul enters the body. So if that's happening when they do that, then hence are killing someone. Or what happens if it doesn't happen, but the human still comes alive and they haven't got a soul? It's just a new sci-fi theory there.
It's not necessarily reported. There's actual video of that spark of light at conception.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an animation or anything. It's sophisticated camera equipment.
Yep.
Again, it makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder. I mean, it makes you wonder if you could grow a human for what you're saying, and then an artificial AI could program that human.
I mean,
oh my god!
I mean, we already have that situation with the AI right now that can create entire loads of content, and all that content can easily be used to prime someone. So, what would happen if that child, for lack of a better word, was allowed to fully grow? They tried to say, you know what? Let's see what happens.
I don't know. I don't think it should be allowed. You're just messing with.
That's the thing.
I'm going to say this right now.
We don't know what will happen unless we were to break that ethics.
I'm going to say this now. I was watching a wee bit of that stuff last night, that Rodriguez guy and stuff like that, and they were talking about clones and stuff like that. And it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. I bet you they're doing it right now. I bet they're cloning people. I bet they are. That's interesting. What's this about the Vatican space station? I never heard about that one. What's this one? Do you know about this?
The Vatican has had several interests with space. They have their own observatory Fuck,
He
they used to
says
work with
that
the
the
Nazis.
Vatican is in Area 51.
See what I mean about information getting spewed out of all sorts of places without any resources?
I ken that the Vatican have said that if aliens come, they'll recognise them as Christians and stuff like that.
Yeah. That belief in UFOs doesn't necessarily negate belief in religion.
Like, unless that's meant to mean something else. Am I reading that wrong? What the beat?
The
I'm
Vatican
not
does have
happy with
influence.
America right now. Join the ever-ending queue of people across the world that are pissed off with America.
Join America.
America, land of the free. It's mere George Orwell 1984 material now. So, and it's the same in UK. The UK is the America's lapdog. They just jump and do as they're told. Just look at the pipeline.
Yeah, you gotta consider. America was once the rebellious teenager of the UK. Now the UK is that desperate parent trying to get back into that child's life.
What's that? John Morris. I'm always certain that the angels of the Bible are ETs. If not, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna piss some folk off now, but can something I don't give a fuck because I did it last night and I actually felt quite good after it. So I here's the thing I'm going to say is I'm going to say some of the Bible I think did happen, right? 99% of it was made up so as they could control man. And control, because look how the Bible says that your wife should act and all that kind of stuff. Can't I mean they should obey men and all that kind of stuff. It's made up to suit them, right?
You also got to consider the number of contradictions that are in the Bible.
Okay, I'd love to.
And many of the stories have no. I'm just saying. I'm not justifying any of it. There's also, you also got to consider many of the stories that happened in the Bible were written down at least a few hundred years after they actually took place. Now consider how bad people nowadays are at retaining information they try to spread around in gossip. Humanity mentally has been the same since its first inception. Very little evolutionary changes up here. So chances are back then people sucked at retaining information and may even have gotten pissed off at the fact new information gets brought forward that doesn't fit into their delusions.
Yeah, it's like the game of telephone, isn't it? But over
religion's the longest running game of telephone there is.
Yes, and there was a man, he fell from the cross. And then the next person picks up. Yes, and there was a man that fell from the cross that was stabbed by a spear. And then the next person picks up. There was a man that fell from the cross that was stabbed by a spear, and an angel came down from heaven. And then it just goes on, and he rose for the grave, and blah, blah, blah. And they added this and they added that. And now it's a big, massive. You ever read the Bible, by the way? You feel like shooting yourself afterwards. It's just ridiculous. I read it once. Never again. Never, ever again. The amount of
study up
shit
on most
that's inside
religions. You know,
honestly,
they actually say when it comes to the Bible itself, just by analyzing how it was written, they say that the Bible, as we know it today, is essentially the work of 5 different authors writing about very similar events, all copy and pasted into one thing.
Yeah, it's like you should take the Bible, and I don't care if all the Christian folk are going to chase me about with burning torches or not, and change the name of the Bible and change the name of the Bible into the words "How to Control Man." I mean, there's some stuff in the Bible, there's some stuff in the Bible like actually not killing, all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's the commandments and stuff like that. Oh, that's good. But come on.
But you know, you can even tear apart "Thou shalt not kill," as in "Thou shalt not commit murder."
Yeah.
With defending yourself, you should have every right.
Yeah.
But as in the act of just going out to kill, just to kill people, you can pick that apart.
Yeah.
Just as the same, if a man shall lie with another man, they should be stoned.
Oh, aye.
That would be
And Drew,
original
if you're watching,
translation.
and Drew, if you're watching, it doesn't mean actual stoned. It means stoned to death with stones, not joints or anything like that. You know.
No,
I had to say that just in case
the
you get your
original
hopes up there.
translations of that is that a man should not lie with young boys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Bible originally preached like anti-pedophilia.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? I'm just reading in the chat now. John has caught a lot of our stuff about the reincarnation ETs having children with humans, which is true. I mean, I've been fascinated with this because I think there's a lot of hidden history in this world. I think there's you ever heard of the mud flood? Yeah, has any of you ever heard of the mud flood? Because it's actually I don't ken that much about it. If his name's Lewis and all that, he kens about this kind of stuff, and it's fascinating. There's actually evidence out there that the Great China Wall, right, wasn't it actually built by China? It was built by an empire called Tartaria, right? And it was to keep the Chinese out. Tartaria used to be Russia and parts of that. It's actually really interesting. I'll see if I can find a guest to come on and talk about that. I was actually hoping that Lewis would come on and talk about it because he actually knows quite a lot about this stuff.
I don't know. Lewis seems to be getting paranoid anytime we try to approach him.
He's awfully busy than the new. What's that? Windmill cause? What's that?
Windmills cause cancer? What fucking doesn't?
African causes cancer now. Probably the zesty beverage that I'm drinking the news probably getting me cancer.
Zesty beverage, the earphones we're wearing, the fact that we're sitting around all this radiation in order to do this.
I've got an EMF meter and I turned it on the other day and it was flashing around everything.
The fact that we're sitting in these chairs, the food
plastic,
we eat,
everything,
drinks we drink,
nylon,
everything.
Stuff they're spraying in the atmosphere.
The rubbers you put on just before getting intimate.
What's that? Electric is not working. So that one means. But what do you think of the Japanese releasing all the radiation into the sea?
3-eyed fishies, come get your fishies. Oh, look, it's Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Aye. It's honestly, I just don't know, guys. This world is truly fucked. It really is. If we don't start getting our act together soon, because the younger generation, oh Jesus and all that's holy, and I'm using names from the Bible. I'm using names from the Bible, just in the reason being is have you seen this totally changes the subject. Have you seen the video on TikTok and it's the guys getting ready to go to war? And it's got the veterans. It's got the veteran for World War for two and all that. No, sorry, Korean War and the Vietnam War sitting watching them. And he goes, I'm going. And what does he says? Pearl Harbor. If I was going to fight in Pearl Harbor, it happened in the 60s. And I'm like, oh.
How about that one dude that was saying, oh, this is going to be my outfit if I were going to the electric chair?
I know.
Huh?
Honestly,
I don't get it. And unfortunately, here's the part that I find ironic. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we joked about the film Idiocracy, where the world's become a society's too stupid to even have sex. When you really think about it, sex is such a primal thing that they consider the most highly intelligent people less likely to reproduce. That's a legitimate statistic.
Yeah.
They're wanting to dumb the population down so they don't question what's the government's going on, yet they're wanting a population reduction by 2025.
But that's scary in what they want. What they're wanting, even nuclear war, wouldn't they cause?
Mm-hmm.
I think whatever's going to. I think something's going to happen soon. What's your idea about September the 23rd? Have you heard about that?
I keep hearing about that.
I don't know what that's all about, by the way. The change is coming. The change is coming. We're doomed. It's like last year, the guy was going on about the rapture's going to take place in such and such date. The day came, and then he's like, oh, it's going to happen next year, God tell me. And then the next year came, and it didn't happen. And then he went, why? But God says he's changed his mind. It's happening next year. And he did this for about 10 years straight.
Yeah. Speaking of which, fake psychics and all that.
Why?
That's why I find it funny that Uri Geller is starting to make the airways since the UFO topic became big.
I know I sent you that video on Uri Geller.
I was like, about to say, that was Uri Geller's video, man.
I know. But
you're trying to say, no, that wasn't Uri Geller. That was Uri Geller.
I ken for a fact Uri Geller is fake. He's like a lot of fakes out there in the paranormal, right? There's loads of them out there. There's fake ghost hunters that get folk to do stuff and fake things. There's folk in the UFO community, fake stuff. It's I think he's trying to jump on the bandwagon, right? Because all this UFO stuff's coming out. No. I watched an old video the other night.
Generation of idiots, the fool.
I watched an old video the other night there. Can you remember a guy called, this is maybe too old for you, The Amazing Randy?
Oh, yeah, James Randi.
And he was
he was the one that called out Uri Geller.
Yeah, and he called out Uri Geller, and he called out a lot of people. There was one guy who doing it was in the 1980s, and it was this Chinese guy, and he could blow. He moved his horn, and the yellow pages opened, right? He says, "I find I'll give you $10,000 right now if you can do that." And he's like, "Oh, no bother." And he said, "Oh, but wait, no, I just need to do one thing." So he opened the box, and it was full of like
packing peanuts.
No, he opened the box, and it was full of like polystyrene, very light polystyrene. He sprinkled it all in about the book, and the guy's like, he's trying to do his magic because obviously it was blowing it.
Yeah.
Without us seeing he could blow it. He was like, all my psychic energies are gone.
Yeah, he was saying that the foam from the packing peanuts was throwing his energies off. No, I think we need more James Randys.
We do need James.
I genuinely do.
We do. And he didn't believe in the afterlife, but he probably is believing in it because it does exist. But
he probably believes in it now because I'm not mistaken, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. But he was good. He put it all the way up to $1 million. You know, he put it all the way up to $1 million. And
I mean, he called out Sylvia Brown years before she finally went down.
It's honestly, he was funny. You should watch him. You get a look at him on TikTok and stuff like that. And it's funny. He's funny because you see these folk trying to do stuff, and they're like, "Oh, the psychic powers of no get them beyond." I'm going to say this. Last night's show was good because there is so many fakes and frauds out there.
There is
so many fakes and frauds out there. And as I say, you get them in the UFO community. Yeah, I know we're jumping onto that subject again. You get them on that community. And I admired some people that wrote books and stuff like that. No, I don't, because of the way they went on. They were basically acting like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
You know? We're here to try and open the awareness for people, to trying to make people aware that aliens exist. But there's people out there that only care about being rich and famous.
Exactly.
And that's what's destroying everything.
And honestly, while the ETs understand that this is our world, there's a certain way of how things work, they're not exactly a fan of people trying to get rich off of this shit.
Yeah. There's so many fake UFO people out there, see, especially on TikTok. I come across them. I mind to tell you and Elena about this, actually. Elena was sitting one night, and I tell you, or was it, oh, what was her name? But it was Elena, I tell you about, and I says I came across them in TikTok, and it was, they were basically saying that the Greys are here to help us, the Greys are amazing. This is them, they don't have a clue what they're talking about. They're talking about their ass, basically. And everybody was sending them money. Oh, yes, I'm the emissary from the Great Greys, and they have made me Lord of the Earth. If you send me some money, they will look at you fakes. Yeah, they're fakes.
Exactly. It's like I was saying. These people are counting on the fact that this shit's hard to test.
Yeah.
And when you have the surefire signs that, yes, something supernatural is happening, then your life is on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, there probably are several ways that we could have verified all of this in the mainstream to the satisfaction of mainstream scientific method, but
Hey, Smith family.
the amount of moral and ethical things that we would have to cross in order to surpass that.
The world, you're always going to come across these folk that fake stuff for their own gain, and that's all they want. They don't care about the folk around about them. They just care about themselves being glorified and remembered. But I can tell you something right now: there's a lot of people out there in the smaller YouTube community that's going to be remembered a lot more than a lot of these famous people. You know, and I can tell you. When you go?
I was just gonna say that's all, like I was saying at the beginning of the show. That's what makes this thing so hard. Is that people are more likely to fall for the fakes.
Yeah.
I mean, just like that one video I was talking about where they're trying to say it was out of Morocco just before the earthquake. You can make that with Windows 95 computer. You can make those effects that easy.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it this way, and maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now, down the scenarios, if God willing, the earth does survive, the human race does survive, and we're not stupid, right? They might look back in this and they'll be like, oh, there's the famous folk of the time. They were basically doing it just to become rich and famous. Look at these two guys. Look at the Smith Family Paranormal in the chat. Look at Mike the Naked Bigfoot. Look at these people that had small channels, or Emerald Isles Paranormal that had small channels. These were the people that were groundbreaking then. And we'll be watched because this is digital, obviously, it'll be kept. So it'll be like Star Trek kind of scenario, they'll be able to look back. Will we leave an imprint ourselves? You know? Out of curiosity, when does the Bald Bonkers thing go to the moon?
It's already launched.
So how does it actually get onto the moon?
It's actually basically there's an effort to build an archive of human existence on the moon. And in order to help secure funding for it all, they kind of opened it up to where civilians can send in their own stuff, like memories, photos, stuff like that. It's up there.
But how do they actually get it onto the moon?
Using one of Elon's rockets.
So it lands and then that's it, just shuts down, it sits there?
No.
Yeah.
They start building up a facility. It's actually my understanding they're trying to make it look like a glass pyramid.
No, that's a good idea, actually, because then any extraterrestrials that visit the system, they would notice that.
Yeah, because the plans were to launch archives to the moon, on asteroids, towards Mars, and outside of the solar system in the event of some great cataclysm wiping out the Earth.
See, that's quite interesting you say that, right? Say, for instance, we're stupid and we kill each other in a nuclear war, right? And 5,000, 10,000 years down the line, humanity is building again. It's building its space empire. And it's starting off again, and they'll land in the moon, and they come across this. They'll be like, oh, look, ancient technology. And it'll be all covered up. And they'll use that ancient technology as we used. You see where I'm going with this? Maybe that's where we've been getting some of our stuff here. Maybe it's not just extraterrestrial stuff that's on the moon. Maybe we found former Earth people evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we think that these great mystical artifacts are some ancient secrets.
Yeah.
Yet it was just the early models for Cleopatra's dildo.
Yes. And now don't you anybody in the chat there getting horny. We've got lurkers that don't speak, so don't be getting horny.
No. Let's just say there was plenty of honey. She would use bees.
I like honey.
You're just enjoying that visual, aren't you?
I will admit that I had a visual there, and it was rather lovely.
Poor Jenny.
Honey's actually really good for you. Is it diabetics can eat honey, and it doesn't. Yeah, honey's actually is it Muka honey or whatever it's called? That's quite good. Yeah, So, do we have any guests lined up for next weekend? Or is there any coming on?
We shall try. Nobody's answering their fucking emails. So I had to check to make sure if any of them ended up in spam somehow. That's happened.
Spam. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to get some people in. We should have an open panel one night to discuss what the Earth was, where it's going, what the future holds for humanity.
I know we definitely got to get some guests up because we got to hype up the fact that our 2-year anniversary is coming up.
We need to get a special guest on. We need to get a special guest on. I would love to interview a flat earther. That's my dream, to interview a flat earther.
I've been trying, man.
I would love to interview a flat earther because it's just so stupid. The Great Wall, and inside the big wall there's another world. But the aliens that's coming through space to get us. And then they're like that. But we can't get out of space because there's a dome. But the aliens are coming to get us. See? They say the Flat Earth Society has got followers all around the globe.
Yeah, repeat that slowly.
There's karma reading there. Was sex is overrated, too much perversion. Everybody's just silent.
I know. I'm thinking Kareem is a little behind on the live.
Maybe a good 10 minutes behind.
Yeah. Just by how the chats are coming through, but oh well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Remember, check Bald and Bonkers out. The network's out. Remember, check out all the links if you want to go to make your trailers or anything like that too. Or the TV network. Do you have any news in that front?
Our Bonkers TV Plus is coming along smoothly. Might have to launch a Kickstarter or something to help get the rest of the funding together.
How much do you need?
At least 500 to cover the server fees and all that.
Right, Dots. We'll make the tea. Swing your handbag at the local truck stop.
That Springsteen looking dude could probably pull it off.
There's a free cup of tea for you.
Bruce Springsteen impersonator.
If
they can make money impersonating Elvis.
There's Emerald Isles Paranormal because it's popping up on my phone before it's popping up here. See that?
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times.
So everybody, have a safe week. If the alien reptilians come to take you away, don't worry. Dakota will be hiding in his bunker somewhere.
I'm from Idaho. Bunkers are everywhere.
But that's very true. Tornado land. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you through the week. Go Scott Scotland will be live on Friday night coming. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but I'll think of something. And we'll catch you all very soon. Stay safe and stay away from the horny aliens. That's you, Dots. Stay away from the aliens.
That's no fun. Well, you're no fun, man.
You know you like your probes.
And hey, you're the one that's been complaining of constipation lately.
What's that?
Somehow that reminds me.
Dots, I've a few handbags you can borrow. There you go, see.
Speaking of which, that also reminds me. If you subscribe to our top tier on Patreon, you can now have access to the Bald and Bonkers library.
Ooh.
Means you're going to have to up your subscription.
What's on there?
Oh, a lot of the latest books we've been putting out. Have access to the books. digital downloads of the books before they're even out to the rest of the public.
Confession of the Galactic Federation. He wrote it.
Macro energy, micro penis.
Yeah.
Coming out this Tuesday. Don't worry.
Yep.
You won't need a microscope in order to see this.
Exactly. So we'll catch you all soon, guys. Have a safe week. And I hope the aliens all visit you tonight.
Much love.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.